If you have not heard of these before, I will give you a brief little intro here. The Anytime Locker by Black Ops Offroad gives you the ability to engage your factory e-locker. You can engage it in 4 low, just like factory, also 4 high and 2-wheel drive. The second product we have here is also from Black Ops Offroad. This is what they call their throttle grenade. It is a throttle response controller. Makes it feel like the truck is more powerful, even though you're not making any type of performance gains. What's going on, guys? Welcome back for another video. If you're new here, my name's Chris. Right behind me, this is the Fortune Taco. I'm going to be covering the Anytime Locker first, and then we'll move over and cover the throttle grenade in the second part of the video. Let's get to it. I'm going to go ahead and start by putting that Anytime Locker in and get it tossed here in the truck. So starting over on our passenger side, we're going to need access to the 4-wheel drive module, which is behind the glove box. So we just got to take off a couple parts, get the glove box pulled out, and then it'll be a plug and play just behind the glove box. It's fairly simple. If any of you are wondering why there's a hole here in my dash, that is for another video I'm currently working on. If you're interested to see what I'm going to be putting here, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you will see when that video is dropped. Flathead screwdriver or a plastic panel tool. I'm going to start by popping off this piece here. Second piece is this trim piece here. There's multiple clips in here, so you just have to pull this back towards you gently, and that will pop off. Actually, I'm going to open this, might make it easier. Perfect. Pull back. There is a knee airbag module. There's going to be 3 bolts. 2 are obvious here, and then over here in the corner there's another silver bolt. So there's 3 10mm bolts we have to pull out so we can take that knee airbag out. It's just held in by a couple plastic clips once you get those bolts out. And then this will come out. There is a wire still connected to it. There's no reason to disconnect that. But now with this airbag module out, we have access to getting the glove box out. We're gonna switch our 10mm to an 8mm. There are gonna be 5 bolts, 1 in this bottom left corner, 1 over here in the bottom right, this top one, and then 2 more that are inside the glove box on the top. Once those 5 screws are out, this glove box is held in by a couple plastic clips. So just gently start to pull back like we did everything else. And the whole entire glove box will pop out. Now we have access to behind the dash. This is where your cabin air filter goes. This is the AC system. We're working on number 2 here from the air box. So vertical stack 1, 2. This black box right in here is the 4-wheel drive module. So we have 2 plugs in the 4-wheel drive module. We're gonna be taking out. These are gonna go in their place, and then the factory harnesses are gonna plug right back into these. Other wire harness, which is quite a bit longer, is gonna be the wire that plugs into the new locker switch. Click on, click off, and we'll see there's some illumination there as well. So we're gonna plug both of the factory plugs into the female portion of the harness. With both of those connected, we are now gonna take the male ends from our harness and plug them back into the 4-wheel drive module. So you have 3 total options for switch location. If you have a spare switch down here, or you want to pop one of these out, you can place the switch in one of these cutouts. Most Tacomas do have some extra kind of blank switches here. Pop these blanks out, and then you can pop the switch in there if you choose to do that. I did do an article on the installation of this product on Trail Tacoma's website. I'll leave a link for that down in the description below. My buddy Justin, who owns the Ew Dirt Tacoma, I installed this in his truck, and we did put it over here on the driver's side. They made their wire harness long enough to reach the center of the dash, which is pretty short. The driver's side, or the third option, they made their harness long enough to go up the A-pillar on the passenger side through the headliner, so you can replace the factory switch and put it right in the factory location. That's what I'm gonna go ahead and do. I haven't really seen anybody do that, so I'm gonna knock that out. I'm gonna give that a shot. Taking off that A-pillar is pretty easy. Pop these caps off with the little panel tool. Then there's 2 10mm bolts back behind the grab handle. As soon as those are off, you can kind of gently pull, and then this bottom portion just has tabs. That comes out fairly easy. Using a Phillips head screwdriver, I'm gonna take off this passenger side visor. You can then kind of gently pull this out. There's a little metal retainer clip that goes in here. Little wiring harness for the vanity lights. Pull that out temporarily. The next thing is the clip that holds the visor in. You're gonna rotate this just slightly counterclockwise and then pull out. The last thing we need to do is then pull this out. These are all just plastic clips. Pull down gently. There's one in each corner. With the factory button in here, you want to disconnect the wire harness from the back side. And then this can be pushed out towards the front, and that will pop out of that. You can take the anytime locker switch. It'll slide right into this cavity, and push until it pops in. That is now installed in the factory location, which looks pretty good. We just need to fish this thing up through this path to get it to this module here. A little game of fishing. I'm gonna try our best to not interfere with that factory airbag. Now the fun part, getting it ran through the headliner. We just need to clean this up and then get this all put back together. Start by getting that glove box back in. Make sure you line up all the clips. Pop that back in. There. Now let's just do a power up and test to make sure that's working. So I'll turn the truck on. Then just check your factory locker. You know, when you have to press and hold this for a couple seconds. You'll get some lights in the dash and it takes a couple seconds to kind of start going and getting everything engaged. Well, this one, your lights, instead of popping up on the dash, they're gonna pop up on the switch. So when we first press that, as long as that's flashing, that's trying to tell you that it is trying to get engaged. And now the lightning bolt is solid. That means our locker is engaged. Now that we got the anytime locker installed in the truck, it's time to move on to part 2 of the video. And we are now going to go over the install of the throttle grenade. This is gonna be much easier than the install was for the anytime locker. So it's gonna be getting plugged in up under here where the driver's pedal is at. So with that there, you just need to make sure wherever you mount this, the cord can reach. So this is the driver's gas pedal. Follow the gas pedal to the top and you're gonna see a plug. Hopefully you guys can see that. There's a plug right here at the top of this box. That is gonna be unplugged. We're gonna use this bypass to plug into the pedal, and then another end will get plugged back into that wire harness. That'll be how simple this install is. Then you just have to find somewhere to kind of mount this stuff up to or mount it up in there. We got the bypass installed here, so this is plugged into the factory wire harness. And then the other portion that comes off the throttle grenade is plugged up into the top of the gas pedal. So yes, we have to figure out how to mount that stuff and keep it out of the way of these moving parts. But this longer wiring controller, we need to feed up through the dash to wherever the final location is I pick. I'm thinking this general area. I went ahead and chose to mount it here and do it in a vertical position rather than a horizontal. I went a little further because my OCD sometimes. I drilled a hole through this trim panel and I ran the wire up through that hole so there's no wires just running randomly. But let's at least test this and make sure it powers up and works. And then we will actually go out and we will do a test on both the locker and the throttle grenade. So just like we did with the locker, I'm gonna just at least give it accessory power. Just turn the vehicle on to accessory. And that is lighting up. It doesn't have dancing lines like that normally. That's just because of the video and the frame rate. So we got the anytime locker and the throttle grenade installed in the Fortune Taco, and now we are out in a desert patch out here near my house. We're gonna do some testing, engaging the locker, and then also do some testing and going through some of the throttle response modes that the throttle grenade offers. So let's get in the truck, let's start it up, and let's do some dirt testing. We're gonna go ahead and activate the anytime locker, just like we did before. So we press it, and as long as that is flashing, we'll have to give it a minute to activate by turning solid on that lightning bolt. All right, I heard the 4-wheel drive module click there under the dash, and now that lightning bolt's solid. So We will see if the truck will allow us to do some donuts, which you typically can't do in a 3rd gen Tacoma without a anytime locker. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh my gosh, can't even see out the windows. How was that, Midnight? I'm gonna turn the locker off. We're gonna try to do donuts, as most of you know from factory, is pretty hard to do without any type of modifications like the anytime locker. So here we go, I'm gonna try the same thing. Let's try some donuts. Well, those are Toyota factory donuts right there. A little bit of fun, I guess, but it's not much compared to donuts with the anytime locker. That was just a fun little test showing what that anytime locker can do. It just kind of takes away some of those factory limitations. But the next time I get a chance to hit a trail and use the anytime locker, I'll try my best to try and document and do a video to do a real world anytime locker test. Now let's get on to the throttle grenade. So it's on the stock mode right now. We'll do a little bit of a pull. Obviously everyone's gonna know what this is like if you own a Tacoma, but sitting here still, just gonna punch it and go. It's pretty lame. So with the throttle grenade, I'm gonna press either the top button, because the orientation I have it will be your far left button. We're gonna do Offroad Plus. We're gonna see what Offroad Plus does compared to just stock. To be 100% honest, I don't know if it's because of the dirt. I didn't really feel much of a difference with that one. And I said, I don't know if this is more, if doing like a launch test with this is not exactly the best test for throttle response. But let's see, we're gonna bump into the next one. So after Offroad Plus, it is gonna be the Explode mode. Let's see what happens from just a dead start. Same thing there. I'm not quite feeling a difference when it comes to the throttle grenade. Maybe I'd have to do like an on-road test to see if I get any type of difference here, but I can't quite say I'm feeling any type of difference. The next mode is gonna be crawl mode. This would be a good one that would be used, obviously, just like it says, in crawl mode. I think it makes the response a little slower, so you're not getting any kind of like throttle, like jumping or anything from hitting rocks and doing crawl mode. So that would be something interesting to try out when off-roading and crawling. I felt only a tiny bit of difference in the Explode mode. Like I said, when I was kind of going around and just kind of tapping on the gas, and I could feel the instant response that you don't really feel from factory. So there was a little bit there, not quite what I was expecting to feel from that one. So that mod is like okay, but my truck is tuned. I have the OTT tune. So that could be the tune has some type of throttle response tune in it, and this thing could be only making very, very minor changes that I can't see. So testing this thing out on a fully stock vehicle that's not tuned would be kind of interesting to see if there's a major difference. As far as the anytime locker, that is a mod that I can see getting a lot of use. There are many times I've been on the trail and I'm either up on a hill or kind of somewhere and I cannot engage my 4-low, just because usually you have to be on level ground or just in that right spot to let it activate. Hopefully with this anytime locker, it might help that, because you can activate in 2-wheel drive or 4-high. And another thing that would be kind of cool is playing around with it and just activating the locker in 2-wheel drive and seeing what kind of obstacles you can tackle that you originally thought you'd need 4-wheel drive for. I appreciate you sticking around. I hope you enjoyed this one. Huge shout out to Black Ops Off-Road for sponsoring this video, sending both of these products out so this video can be made and shown to you guys. Any questions about the products or anything for Black Ops Off-Road, drop it in the comments down below. If it's anything I can't answer, I will gladly reach out to them. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button. It helps this video be more successful and get seen by people just like yourself. And another thing you can do if you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button. You'll be notified whenever I release new videos so you can see all my future content. That's gonna be it for this video, guys. I hope to see you in the next video.